Welcome to Jefferson County Post Sports. I'm David Swann with Angie, Stanley. Angie, we're going to jump right into high school action brought to you by Angie State Farm, located conveniently at 1129 North Highway 92, Jefferson City, Tennessee. Angie, snow has really jumped into our area and kind of caused havoc in our region. What has it done to the high school basketball schedule?
Well, the tournament was supposed to start at Morristown East on Friday, but it has pushed to games, Jefferson County's games, which were supposed to be on Friday, are now on Saturday.
Oh goodness. So our boys and girls are both in the regionals.
Yeah.
And give us a little bit about that schedule and where we can expect to see them play and what's going on with that.
Well, both the boys and the girls teams have come in at number 2 seeds. And so that is a very big deal, especially for our basketball teams. We're very proud of them. What we are hearing right now, it sounds like the girls are going to be playing at 3:30 at Morristown East, and the boys will be playing at 5.
Excellent, excellent. Now we're going to do something a little bit different with the Angie State Farm Player of the Week this week. We're going to look at players from both the ladies and the boys and see who do you think is going to have the biggest impact. So let's start with the ladies. Who do you think is going to have a big impact on this regional tournament?
The ladies, definitely Tori Griffin. She has done phenomenal all season. Receiving her 1,000-point ball at the beginning of her senior season has been a very big motivation for her. I really honestly think that she is going to be pivotal from especially inside of the paint. I think that she's going to go out with her senior year with a bang and prepare to go to Carson Newman.
Excellent, excellent. And I know on the boys' side, you've kind of mentioned a little bit that height may play a factor in what's going to go on in this regional tournament.
I honestly believe that because especially with this regional tournament, we're going to be facing some very good statured sized basketball teams. I really honestly think that Cameron Gregg's size is going to be pivotal in some of the victories that we need to get throughout this regional tournament.
We're going to hold you to those predictions. Both of those players are going to come up big for the Patriots and hopefully lead us through the regionals.
Exactly.
Absolutely. The Angie State Farm Players of the Week are, of course, brought to you by Angie State Farm, again, located in Jefferson City. We'd also like to take this time to make a shout out a little bit to the Jefferson County High School wrestlers. We had 8 Patriots qualify for the state tournament. Who can we look for moving on to that state level?
Well, right now, the list of Patriots that have made it to the state tournament is Cody Harris, Griffin English, Austin Baker, Aaron Lawson, Blake Baker, Josh Booker, CJ Pinkston, and Logan Townsend. Logan has actually already made his name for himself through our Jefferson County Patriots football team. And we're really excited to see what's going on with the wrestling team.
Absolutely. Some great young men. Tremendous season. And in fact, I think if we pay attention over the next few days, we may see a nice feature on the wrestlers coming up. So look for that in the post, a feature on the wrestlers. Also, another feature that you can look forward coming into the post is on the Jefferson County High School Special Olympics basketball team. They had an amazing performance, and I would like for you guys to make sure you check back in the next few days to learn more about their inspirational story. Lots of high school action going on, of course, and we'd like to thank Angie State Farm for her support of all our local athletes. Now it's time for Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you by Cosmo Boutique, located in historic downtown Dandridge Square. My girls just can't keep from talking about Cosmo Boutique. They're all about it, Angie. You know how clothes draw girls in, right?
Oh, definitely. I make sure I frequent her shop a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lady Vols. A lot going on. Still a lot of drama. What have you seen?
The most passion that I've seen from this team occurred on Monday night. They drove the ball. They wanted the victory. Unfortunately, they come up just short against South Carolina. But with that being said, they gave the number 2 team in women's college basketball a really big run for their money.
That's wonderful. And they're doing it with a little less playing time from a superstar, aren't they?
Yeah, and actually, if you've been around Twitter world, you probably have seen Diamond to Shields, or the lack of playing time had caused a little bit of drama.
I don't think her father was particularly happy, although I did see that he may have apologized a little bit for the outburst, if you will. I don't think it was much of an outburst. I had a chance to see some of the tweets. I think just a frustrated father with a little bit of lack of playing time. But you had mentioned this earlier, that it has really no reflection on her talent. In fact, it's more about the team's ability to mesh with her.
Exactly. And when you try to make 2 or 3 players carry the rest of you, it doesn't matter how much Diamond or Bashara or Mercedes, it doesn't matter how much they do. If the rest of the team's not backing you up, then you're only limited to what you can do. But the amount of effort and teamwork that I've seen from the girls on Monday night, I really hope that that will continue on.
That's very refreshing. And something else that you mentioned to me off camera, you weren't very pleased with the officiating in that game.
No, I go to a lot of basketball games. Not only do I do the Lady Vols basketball games, I also go to the high schools, and I also, do middle school and pee-wee and everything. And that was probably the worst officiating crew I have seen in a very long time.
Whether it impacted the outcome of the game, hard to say, but sometimes those things don't get said. I know it's difficult for anyone associated with the University of Tennessee to say anything like that. They would never say that.
They would never say that.
They would never say that. But we have the opportunity when we don't like what was done. And most of the time the officials do an amazing job. Of course, we know that it's a difficult job and they usually do really well at it. But occasionally you run across something like that.
In my fit of rage on Monday night, I actually was telling somebody that I usually side on the side of the officiating team. The officials, they have a tough job. They really do. But this was just a hard one to watch.
Yeah,
it really was.
Just not what you expect. Well, let's shift gears a little bit here and talk about the men. What have you seen from the men on the court?
It's been sporadic.
Up and down, isn't it?
It's been so sporadic, and it's like they do amazing, and then all of a sudden it just fizzles out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're playing on passion, and sometimes that just can only carry you so far when you don't have the big players in the post, and your shooting kind of goes awry on you a little bit. And both of those things have been struggles for the men. Sometimes their shooting just kind of disappears for a time.
And really honestly, if we're sitting back being honest about it, it's just a bunch of young mistakes. It's what it is. And everybody's still filling each other out. I have to keep reminding our fans, this is Coach's first season. So we have to work out the kinks. Now, say 2 seasons from now, they're still acting like this, then maybe there's a problem. But right now...
I think in the future, we're looking to add some size. I know rumors out there right now. I know we're having a player come in, a 7-footer come in this weekend for a visit. A junior college player. I think Tennessee's in good standing with him. I wouldn't surprise me if he commits over the next couple of weeks to the University of Tennessee. And I think they're looking at some foreign players, particularly a foreign player from Turkey who's quite the athlete. Again, a 7-footer, and I think he is a one-and-done type player.
Yes.
And if Tennessee would be able to bring in a couple of players like that, would completely change their team from one year to the next, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Especially with the size, it increases your depth of field. And they can get the shots that most of the shortest players can't get. Yeah. Being a short basketball player myself, I completely understand. You actually do need some height to that too. You can combine skills between the short people and the tall people. I think that they will be unstoppable.
Well, and it's very much like in football when you have the running game complements the passing game and the passing game complements the running game. If you have a low post scorer, then you have the ability to get open shots from the 3. If you have open shots from the 3, then it extends the defense and you get more low post scoring, and it just complements one another. And not to mention the biggest problem with not having size is defense. Having the ability to play defense against the larger players and then rebound the ball. It's just difficult when you give up so many inches every day.
Exactly, and it would definitely help with their rebound percentage. And also, it would help with the blocks.
Yeah.
Because right now, a lot of these guys, if you sit there and just really analyze these games, they're having to jump a lot.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
which
really,
wears them out.
It does. It wears them out. It honestly wears you out quicker than having to run up and down the court all the time.
And it's an amazingly good shot blocking team for the height that they have, because they have a lot of athleticism, a lot of athletes going on there. But that's just a tough way to play defense. Gets you more fouls as well, which comes into play late in the half and late in the game. Makes it more difficult to close out games, and we have seen that can be a problem closing out games at times.
Yes. And also, luckily, they're still running on steam from the upset against Kentucky.
Yeah, big win.
Oh my gosh.
Big
I don't think
win.
I've seen you guys since. Yeah, I just realized that. I haven't even seen you guys since that big win against Kentucky.
The Vols beat Kentucky. I mean,
what?
Wow, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I think I may have cried a little.
I'm pretty sure I did a lot. Tears of joy, tears of joy. I mean, really, Tennessee basketball beating Kentucky. And for those of you who may not be from our region originally, we were new to the area, that's like Tennessee football having a win over Alabama. In fact, it's even harder for Tennessee basketball to have a win over Kentucky than it would be for Tennessee football to have a win over Alabama. That's the big boys of our league. Those are our rivals. Those are the people that we want to beat on a consistent basis. And it's just very difficult to beat Kentucky. It really is.
I mean, honestly, they are an SEC basketball powerhouse. They always have been. They've had their up seasons and their down seasons just like everybody else. But overall, they're pretty much a benchmark as far as SEC basketball is concerned.
Absolutely. And even while maybe on a national level they're not having quite the season that they would expect to have, in the SEC they're still the cream of the crop. And to go and have a win against them and to do it in that fashion where you're down by so many points and you just don't give up and you fight back and you fight back and you fight back. And I don't know about you, but you could see it coming. I could see that coming. When the lead got cut and it got cut again and it got cut again, you could see it at about 8 points. When Kentucky was up for about 8 points, you could say, "Oh, something's happening here."
It's not over yet, and it was a new type of fire that I've seen in the guys' eyes that I haven't seen all season, and I'm hoping that they could carry on that fire throughout the rest of the season and have a great start to the beginning of next season.
And really, that's the thing. That's the thing. We saw the fire against South Carolina for the Lady Vols, and we saw the fire against Kentucky for the men, and that's what we hope to see coming up. This has been the Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you by Cosmo Boutique, located in historic downtown square, Danridge, Tennessee. Let's go to the fifth quarter, brought to us by Danridge General Store, located in historic downtown Danridge Square. Lots of bad publicity going on in Big Orange Nation right now. Really, you name it, the publicity is bad.
Yeah, I mean, from the lawsuit to everybody and their brother, including Peyton Manning, getting named.
Absolutely. And for those of you that don't know, there's been a sexual harassment lawsuit, which really is more to the point a Title IX lawsuit. I think a little confusion about that. The lawsuit is really about how the Title IX hearings should go when there is a charge of sexual harassment or rape or anything like that may go on, more than whether or not they actually occurred. And the University of Tennessee is really becoming a case study in that, a legal case study in that. I don't know how Tennessee got so lucky, right? But really that's going to be tried out in the courts to see, does the procedure that UT has in place, is it fair to the alleged victims of the crimes? Unfortunately, sometimes the alleged victims of the crimes turn out not to be actual victims of the crimes, and unfortunately as well, sometimes they do turn out to be victims of the crimes. So I think it's a difficult circumstance on both sides. We've seen UT handle it in pretty aggressive ways lately from the football side of the program, where they immediately have dismissed a number of players when allegations were made, and some of those players, the allegations turned out to not be true later on. Von Pearson comes to mind as a player who was suspended from the program, for months.
Yeah.
And even from the university, wasn't he?
I believe I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I do believe that he wasn't only suspended from the football program, but also from the university.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he was.
I'm pretty sure it was for about 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was a pretty detrimental not only to his football career, but also to his scholastic career.
Yeah. And it turned out that no charges were filed with the allegations. So I think some of the bad publicity is a little bit misplaced here. I think the public perception has become that the athletic programs are rogue programs when it comes to this and don't address these things. And Coach Jones has been pretty aggressive in addressing these.
Yeah, I don't know. The allegations are going back all the way to 95. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I mean, that's literally 20 years ago now. And so it's going to be hard to go back and investigate that. I do know for a fact, right now, covering Vols football, since Butch Jones has been in charge, he's been very aggressive and he does not tolerate any kind of action like that from his players. Whereas before, it may or may not have been tolerated.
Yeah, it's difficult to say in earlier time periods, but I think we can both be pretty confident in saying right now it isn't really tolerated in any form or fashion. And you mentioned the charges in the lawsuit going all the way back to 1995. Some of these, I think, are pretty clearly sensationalized in order to gain publicity for the lawsuit. I mean, Peyton Manning's name is brought into this, and we're hearing all about it in the national media and all that. But the people in East Tennessee have been very much aware that Peyton Manning mooned a girl when he was a teenager, and that was pretty much it. And lawsuits were settled, and things occurred from it. A pretty litigious person. She sued multiple people, as well as Peyton Manning. I don't know that that's always discussed in the process. But I get the impression that most of these allegations are there to bring attention to the Title IX aspect of it more than to retry whether or not Peyton Manning ever did anything that was wrong.
And the thing is, though, is the public has gone to great extents to bring Peyton Manning's name through the mud. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because he has maintained such a squeaky clean image in his last 20 years in football or what, but I do know that there are people out there who are out to crucify him.
Absolutely. And, I mentioned a few times this Title IX thing. Let's kind of clarify that a little bit. Title IX is about gender equality in athletics. And sometimes, and it's about more than that, by the way. That's just one portion of Title IX. And sometimes it can be read in a very restrictive way to indicate that someone who is an alleged victim of a crime should always get the benefit of the doubt, and the alleged criminal is the important part of this, should always be treated as if they should immediately be removed, not only from the sports team, but, and here's the big part, from school. And that has not always happened. And there's an argument on both sides of this that you're not guilty until you've been proven guilty, that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So this is a difficult argument, and I think it transcends UT Athletics. I think UT Athletics just finds itself in the crosshairs at a time when there's a lot of bad publicity going on from former players making some really disgusting mistakes and things that are going on in the media at this point. Another thing that brings us some negativity into our region is some of the calls for Holly to step down or possibly be replaced. I don't see anything like that happening. I don't know, what do you think about that?
I honestly believe that it's just a lot of miscommunication between Holly and her young players. I don't believe it's bad coaching, but I have read some reports and some opinions that it has been bad coaching. I've heard everything from leave Holly alone to bring Carolyn Peck out of retirement. And so it's been...
Local star, by the way.
Yeah, local star. Hi, Carolyn. But
I have I've heard many reports, and the university is actually on this one staying pretty silent. Either way, they're not coming out in support of her, and they're not coming out and saying, "Hey, we don't back this."
And I think some of the Lady Vol fervor that has gone with the naming, the ladies moniker, I think has kind of made the university a little bit gun shy with speaking out in one direction or another when it comes to the women's programs. The only good thing about the negativity that's surrounding the public persona, although I think behind the scenes the university is doing pretty well athletically right now.
Oh yeah.
I think the good part of this is it's really in for football, particularly. It's really in a time of year when it's going to fade. It's going to fade pretty quickly. We'll end up with spring practice, and all of this will be put in the rearview mirror.
April 16th.
Yeah,
Orange
wonderful.
and white game.
Wonderful. And I know that the spring practice game brings you a lot of jubilee, which brings us to June Jubilee. And we'd like to alert you guys to June Jubilee. We'll be in historic downtown. It's a street festival. Lots of music, lots of festivities going on. It's June the 18th of this year. Make sure you stop by, and when you do, stop by the Dandridge General Store. It's located right here, the same place in historic downtown square. Stop by Cosmo's Boutique. Stop by all of the local businesses here, and make sure you say hello.
And poke your head in and say hi to us here at the Post.
Absolutely, we're right on the corner as well. For Jefferson County Post Sports, I'm David Swann.
I'm Angie Stanley.
And we hope you enjoy a great week of sports.